So today I'm taking a little break and handing the camera over to another expert that's going to share some really cool tips with you today. So head on over and watch the video and let me know what you think.
Instagram can be extremely frustrating and super demoralizing, especially with all the constant changes that we have to upkeep.
We're no longer a photo sharing app.
I want to share with you the actual 3 reasons why Instagram probably isn't working for your event planning business and the actual steps in order to make it work for you. Let's go. My name is Nadine Daff, former henna artist turned into business coach and founder of the Business Therapy Program, which aims at helping female entrepreneurs grow their businesses using Instagram, all the while managing their own anxiety when it comes to business. Let's get down to business. Consistency, consistency, consistency. Now, I'm not going to tell you the typical generic advice of you need to be consistent, but rather I want to change your perspective and put a little twist to it and help you realize that the real question that needs to be asked here is, why am I unable to upkeep consistency? If you're unable to show up on a daily, post as often as you can, then there's a real underlying issue right there, or an emotion that's not really being addressed. First hardest thing to do is to start. The second hardest thing to do is to stay consistent. That's why dieting and exercising is so hard, because it only works if you do it over an extended period of time. It's the exact same thing with Instagram. Here's the overarching theme of why this is an issue. Now listen very closely, because if there's anything I want you to take away from this video, it is this. You are probably equating your self-worth to the lack of engagement that you're getting on Instagram. So what do I mean by that? When you're posting on Instagram and you end up only hearing crickets, that's actually your brain detecting a negative correlation to the platform, and therefore it ties a negative connotation to you creating the work in order to show up for it, because you don't feel like your output is being matched with your input. And so what ends up happening is, because you feel like you're constantly trying to show up, but you're not seeing results, or you're not seeing anything tangible in relation to the effort that you're putting, it's so easy for your brain to like shut down and be like, nah, we're not gonna do this. There's absolutely no end to this. So why even do it to begin with? Now, I'm not saying that that's necessarily the case for you, but you really do have to ask yourself the hard question of, why am I actually having a hard time with consistency? Trust me, it is not that you don't have enough time. It is not that you're not motivated. It's because there's an actual emotional barrier that is not being addressed. I promise, this is completely coming from a place of love. It's probably that your content just isn't engaging enough. Now, here's the thesis that I really want you to take to heart. If you want your content to perform, remember this. If your content makes your ideal client feel seen and heard, then you're going to get the traction that you're after. Because what ends up happening is, a lot of us get into the cycle of posting for the sake of posting, but it ends up falling flat because you're not really creating content with intentionality or with a purpose to actually help the kind of customer that you are actually trying to attract in your clientele. And so here's what I recommend that you do.
You're gonna go to answerthepublic.com, and their search bar, type a specific keyword, can be tattoo, makeup, whatever. It'll automatically tell you all of the most searched questions on the World Wide Web. Create an Excel sheet and start copy pasting all of the questions that you know you can create content for and answer. And just like that, you're creating irresistible content that's highly demanded and searched for by your ideal clients. And when it comes to your content, especially that you're in an event planning industry, calls more of a need to become this masterful storyteller. Storytelling comes in so many different forms, especially with Instagram. It comes in the forms of the photos that you're sharing, the captions that you're writing, the Insta stories that you're posting. And if you're able to sell a story, you're gonna be able to sell your services. You're not being the life of the party. So what I actually mean by that is that you personally aren't engaging. You're not going out there to different people and different accounts and triggering conversations, showing up in the DMs, commenting on their things. Because if you're just posting for the sake of posting and waiting and hoping that people will find you, you're gonna wait a very long time. As an immigrant who's originally from Egypt,
When I first moved to Canada, I was so miserable because I knew no one, I had no friends. I would end up staying at home because I felt so sorry for myself for not really having a social life. But what I realized is because I kept myself preserved in this little space and just hoping that miraculously I make friends, what I ended up doing is just I started putting myself out there. I started to join different volunteer groups. I started to take classes. Because the virtue of just exposing myself to more people, that's when relationships started to form. That's when I started to create a community. And so what you need to do, you need to really make it a point to start engaging with other accounts. Comment on their photos, comment on their Insta stories, because that in itself increases your exposure to someone who had absolutely no idea who you are. When you start to engage with someone's content, what ends up happening is that they get a notification, and obviously the first thing we do when we wake up is we check our notifications. We're so curious by nature. When someone sees that you've commented on one of their posts and they have absolutely no idea who you are, what they're going to do is that they're going to come check your profile out, which increases your traffic to your Instagram page. And when the traffic to your Instagram page starts to increase, the algorithm detects that more and more people are looking at your account. Therefore, it's going to push your account to even more people. And so it's a win-win-win. So I actually have an exact formula or an exact strategy. It's actually called the story formula on how you can double your reach on Instagram in
Just 7 days. The entire training is only 20 minutes long, just the length of a Friends episode. And from there, you can even book me for a free Instagram audit. Shout out to Jody for featuring me. Subscribe to Event Certificate now and come say hi at the Nadine Dev Project if you want to learn more about Instagram for business.
talk words. Nadine, it's not that hard. I'm just gonna use this one for the bloopers. That one was good.